Imagine a matriarch who dedicated her life to building a family empire alongside the man she loved, only to be abandoned by her children after his death. Discover the emotional and moving journey of Beatriz, a woman whose strength and resilience will be tested to the utmost. Just when she thinks loneliness is her only destiny, an unexpected act of kindness sets in motion a series of events that will change her life and those around her. Get ready for a story full of twists, life lessons, and a surprising ending that will warm your heart. Don't miss this contagious and exciting narrative that reveals the true value of family and hope. Once upon a time, there was a lady named Beatriz who could never imagine that her children would do something so cruel to her. However, he decided to teach them a big lesson. Beatriz has had a lonely life in recent years, but it wasn't always like that. She grew up in Portofino, one of the most beautiful and richest cities in northern Italy. Father was a prosperous businessman, owning numerous properties. The years passed, and Beatriz married Riccardo, one of her father's partners, for whom she had a deep passion. The couple had 3 children, Raphael, Leonardo, and Sofia. Beatriz and Riccardo had a wonderful relationship, and together they made the family's wealth grow even more. The children lived surrounded by comfort and luxury. Time passed quickly, and soon the house was empty. All the children got married and followed their own paths. On weekends, they got together for family lunches, moments of great happiness for Beatriz and Riccardo, who loved playing with their grandchildren. Everything was going well until Riccardo's sudden death. From that moment on, things started to go wrong. The children began to manage the family business without the necessary experience, generating conflicts and power struggles. Family gatherings became increasingly rare, and Beatriz hadn't seen her grandchildren for a long time. Whenever he called his children, asking for visits, they made empty promises, claiming to be very busy. Beatriz became increasingly lonely, while her children fought among themselves. Many properties inherited from their parents were sold, and business went from bad to worse. Although Beatriz wanted to be on top of the situation, her children deceived her, saying that everything was under control, when in fact, the debts were piling up. On a sunny day, Beatriz woke up excited. It was his 85th birthday. Despite her advanced age, she maintained a youthful energy. She prepared her own cake, made delicious food, and organized the table with great care. She wore her favorite outfit and applied the lipstick she only wore on special occasions. She was anxiously waiting for her children and grandchildren. A few hours passed and the doorbell finally rang. Beatriz ran to answer the door, and when she opened it, her face lit up with joy. It was her children and grandchildren. They entered and began to serve themselves without any ceremony. Beatriz was so excited that she could barely eat, wanting to know everything about everyone. However, the children, distracted by their cell phones, paid little attention to him. After eating hurriedly, one of the children, Raphael, said, "Mom, get your things. Let's get out of here." Surprised, Beatriz asked where they were going. Her eyes lit up with excitement, believing they would take her somewhere special to celebrate her birthday. They got into the car without revealing their destination, as part of the supposed surprise. After a few hours, they arrived at their destination. Beatriz looked out the window and saw, on the right, a renowned restaurant. He got out of the car with a beaming smile, but before he got in, he heard his children calling from across the street. "Mom, come here. It's here." When he read the sign next to his son, he couldn't believe it. It was a nursing home. Shocked and without reaction, Beatriz asked Raphael what was happening. "Mom, your house has been sold. We need to pay off some debts or we will lose our homes. Here, you will have company," he said. Before she could protest, a caregiver at the nursing home greeted her enthusiastically. "Dona Beatriz, welcome. I'll show you the facilities." While the caregiver spoke, the children went to sign the documents to leave her there. After being accommodated in one of the rooms, the children and grandchildren entered to say goodbye. "Don't worry, Mom. You'll be fine here. Whenever possible, we'll come see you," they said, in a callous hug. Beatriz remained silent. The disappointment was so great that she could hardly believe it. She felt betrayed and abandoned by her own children. They left without even remembering their birthday. In the days that followed, Beatriz reflected on the happy moments she had had with her children when they were little. I would never have imagined that they could be capable of such cruelty. The attendant, when separating Beatriz's documentation, noticed that it was her birthday. One of the caregivers informed, who improvised a surprise party. Although deeply sad, Beatriz gladly accepted the congratulations, feeling welcomed by her new friends. The weekends passed. Some elderly people received visitors, but others, like Beatriz, were forgotten by their families. 3 months passed, and Mother's Day arrived. Volunteers prepared a party to cheer up the elderly. Beatriz, watching from a distance, hoped that her children would appear, but hours passed, and no one came. Antnio, one of the volunteers, noticed Beatriz's sadness and approached her. He tried to cheer her up with a magic trick and a rose, but to no avail. "Thank you for trying to make me happy. But how can I be happy right now? Look around us. We have been forgotten by our own families," said Beatriz, with a blank look. Moved, Antnio began to visit her regularly, taking the opportunity to keep company with other elderly people as well. Little by little, he and Beatriz created a beautiful friendship, sharing stories and moments together. Beatriz told him how she had been abandoned by her children and how her husband's death had left her lonely. Antnio, in turn, spoke about his family, showing photos of his wife and children. One day, Beatriz asked to meet Antnio's family. He promised that he would take them at the next opportunity. Antnio's visits made Beatriz's days happier. He was her only friend, and she considered him part of the family. Although there were other elderly people, Beatriz did not feel comfortable sharing her life with them. Some no longer remembered anything due to old age, and others developed mental disorders. But Beatriz, despite her age, was completely lucid and liked to read. On one visit, Antnio brought his wife and children. Beatriz was very happy and excited about the visit. Antnio's youngest son had a problem with his feet, but Beatriz didn't comment. After a while of conversation, Antnio said goodbye, taking the children home. Without Beatriz knowing, Antnio got the contact information of one of her children and called, asking them to pay a visit. "Hello, who do I speak to?" asked Antnio. "This is Raphael. If it's about the loan, I've already told you that we'll pay it next month," he replied. "It's not about the loan, it's about your mother. She misses you very much," said Antnio. "Let's see if we can find some time, but it's complicated," replied Raphael. Days passed and no one showed up. Antnio continued his visits, considering Beatriz as his grandmother. One day, during a conversation, Beatriz asked Antnio what his dream was. "My dream is to see my son walk, but the treatment is very expensive," he said. "Why didn't you mention this before? I can help," replied Beatriz. She asked him to get a pen and paper, wrote down an address and handed him a key. "There, you will find a barn. Use this key and make good use of what you find." The next day, after work, Antnio went to the indicated address. He found the barn and, after searching, located a dusty box. He took it home and, together with his wife, opened it. Inside, he found old photographs of Beatriz's family and, on a false background, gold bars. They cried with emotion, because now there was hope that their son could walk. With the amount found, they began treating their son. Furthermore, they bought Beatriz a house close to theirs, to take her to live with them as a form of gratitude. When they arrived at the nursing home to pick up Beatriz, a caregiver informed them that she had passed away the night before. Antnio and his family felt a great emptiness. Beatriz had marked their lives, and they hoped to share with her the joy of seeing their son walk. To honor Beatriz, Antnio shared his story anonymously in a local newspaper. The report covered several cities and reached other countries, reaching Beatriz's children. They were surprised to learn that their mother had given the family's last thing of value to a stranger, but they didn't know how happy that stranger had made her in the last year of her life. And so, Beatriz's story served as a powerful reminder about the importance of caring for and respecting the elderly, as they were once patient and loving with the children we were. May this story inspire everyone to say no to abandonment and to value those who did so much for us. If you are moved by Beatriz's story and want to discover more incredible and inspiring narratives, don't waste time. Subscribe now to our channel, World of Stories. Here, you will find a collection of fascinating stories that touch the heart and soul. Click the subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss any updates. Come be part of our community and receive exclusive content that will move, inspire, and entertain you. World of Stories is your place for stories that make a difference. Sign up now and continue this journey with us.